hear me? Yeah? What? So I'm very excited to be here, and thank you to Tim for that introduction. I want to start by talking about the team today that delivers wealth at Conexus. So in my videos and my blog posts, I've talked about the fact that we deliver investment planning, estate planning, and risk planning to our members. And when I say we, I really mean them. Every day they're in conversations with our members that are driving results, such as gathering $10 from other institutions into our credit union for every dollar we had on deposit, as well as significantly increasing our gross revenues and gross and net sales. They are a big part of the success that we've had in wealth, and I couldn't do it without them. It's my job as the division manager to create the environment where they can be successful, and they deliver every single day. So I wanted to make sure that I recognize and acknowledge the team that I work with, because they are a fabulous group. And that's Saskatchewan, if anybody's wondering. I'm from Saskatchewan, Canada. It's a beautiful province. You should visit. So in my blog and my videos, I talked about what it is we do at Wealth Management, and today I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking to you about why wealth matters at Conexus. And there's two reasons we think wealth is important. One is to remain a financially strong credit union into the future, and the other one is about the relationship with the member. So this slide shows what our investor-to-member ratio is today at Conexus. So even after the great story that I've told, only about 8.4% of our members are considered to be investors today. That's a pretty low number. And you might be asking yourself, where is she going with remaining a financially strong credit union in the future, giving us such a low number for wealth penetration? Well, this is the problem that we see today. So we can make the assumption that a large portion of our members are actually dealing with the competition for their wealth planning needs. And in Canada, who they're dealing with are the big 5 chartered banks. And what they're really good at doing is consolidating relationships. So if we have a member today who has their investment portfolio at Royal Bank, for example, Royal Bank is working really, really hard to try to get the mortgage or personal loan that that member has with us. And they're good at it. They do a phenomenal job. They call out, and we really feel our business is at risk if we don't do a better job of wrapping our arms around the member, and we think wealth is a way to do that. And the second reason that we believe in wealth management really has to do with the member. So we all know and agree that members are more than customers. As credit unions, we believe that we have a duty of care to our members, and we know that our interests need to be perfectly aligned to theirs. And at Conexus, how we do that is make sure that we are holding their hand through all of their life cycles, all the transitions in their life. So we want to help them from getting their first car, helping them buy their first house, understanding responsible use of credit, through to retirement planning, passing assets to the next generation. It's really, really important to us that we do that, and we know that members need that help. What we don't want to have happen is a member come into us at 65 years old and say, hey, I'm ready to retire, I have $32,000. We know at that point we've failed our member, and we're going to make sure that we partner with them through their whole life cycle so that they can get what they need. So what do our members say when it all comes together? What do they say when we get them into the conversations through their life, which build from credit to wealth planning? I asked a couple members to share their stories today about how they feel about the wealth professionals, themselves, and our credit union when we get it right for them. And I'm going to share that video with you now.
My name is Margaret Roth, and I've done business with the credit union since 1961. That's 51 years ago. I think I need to tell you the story a little bit. There was a specific time, and it probably started in 2005. I realized that there was generous assistance around this Conexus place because my brother-in-law and sister-in-law both became ill very fast. They had done all their own finances, and all of a sudden they were not well. They died within 3 months of one another, and we were it. My husband and I. Their books were in chaos, and it was immeasurable, the help I got from this place. My husband and I had the first symptoms of vascular dementia at that time, so it turned out that I was it. So I had to take over finances as my husband's disease went on pretty fast. And she asked pertinent questions. She asked, your will is up to date, you've got all these things in place, and she kept being interested and supporting me, right? At the end, a timely phone call. Are you okay? Is everything okay? And, you know, that's invaluable when you're in this position. And so why did I choose this place? Well, definitely integrity and communication. Communication was so important for me. There's a lot of trust. Developed. You know, you don't get it off the bat, but you learn. The credit union has really helped me. And in the end, it's made me more confident than, it's not been a dependent thing. Although all the help I've got, it's still, it's bred some confidence in me that I can do this. It's a good feeling.
Hi, I'm Al McKim from Humboldt. I've been a member of Connexus Credit Union for 14 years. We always dealt with commercial banks. My dad was a banker for 46 years, so I was with the bank that he was with. And then when it came down to a crunch and needing a loan, they didn't treat us very well. So we wanted to buy a van. They wouldn't lend us the money unless we took out security on our home. I thought, well, that's crazy. Well, the vehicle should be enough security. And I said to my wife, well, we can't do it. And she said, well, what about the credit union? And I said, well, they don't know me from Adam. I've never been there. And she said, well, check it out. So I went in and I talked to Val at the time. And she said, yeah, we can do this. We'll just take the van as security. And then she said, what else can we do for you? So we took all of our investments that were with CIBC and we brought them over to Prudential. Dad was nervous about putting money in a credit union because it wasn't a chartered bank, and that's the world he came from. And he's still like that today somewhat, but we feel great about it. The type of people that are hired by the credit union appear to be different than the people at the chartered banks. We're all part of this community, and we know all the people at the credit union as friends. They're seem to be more caring and concerned about where you're going and how well off you're going to be.
So I think those are some pretty powerful stories about what it is that we're doing in Wealth. When I was filming the videos with those members, I just thought, you know, when Margaret says we actually built her as a member, we know we're achieving the financial results we want to as a credit union while doing it in the right way. To me, it was amazing to hear the stories from their mouths about how they feel about us and what we've done for them in their lives. So what's next at Connexus? On your left is the bar chart that shows what the loyalty is in our member base today. So that's how likely our members are to recommend us to friends and family. So the business they have with us today and the service they're getting, they really appreciate it, and they certainly love us. It's actually industry leading. And the pie graph is showing where we're getting business from in wealth management in 2012. And it shows that about 25% of our volumes are coming from referrals from RMs and lenders and frontline staff. And we're going to work really, really hard to better integrate all of our business lines so we can be in the conversations with members and help them through all of their life transitions just a little bit better. So we're going to take that loyalty that we have and translate it into more business. And to that end, our COO has actually asked me to come work with him to build out the sales and service strategy for all of Connexus. And I started that work at the end of September, so it's been a pretty exciting transition for me as well. So I hope that you see some value in the stories that I've shared here today, as well as the stories, the blog and the videos on the website. And I hope there's something that you could learn from the stories I've shared, maybe to bring back to your credit union and help your members as well. And I certainly thank anyone who has supported me to get me here, and thank anyone who votes for me as the next top credit union exec. Thank you.
Fantastic job, Jill. So now we're going to go over to our judging panel. And let's start with Patrick. Do you have a question for Jill?
Good afternoon. Just wanted to say I really enjoy your presentations, your videos, your blogs. I think that your idea and the way that you've presented it really, to me, drives home the opportunities that credit unions have to continue to broaden and deepen the relationship. So for me, I really don't have any other questions, just to compliment you on your presentation. Thank you.
Well, let's move to Dee Dee. Do you have a question for Jill?
Yeah. Jill, congratulations on your new role. Thank you for coming today. So if you were to go to the CUES CEO Institute, what would you do with the education?
Yeah, I've thought a lot about that. Actually, I have a funny story about one of the staff members was asking me about what would happen if I won, and I said, well, I get to go and learn a whole bunch of new things that will help us build a better credit union and help me be a better leader for you, because that's been an interesting journey for myself as well, leading a fairly large team. And that's what I would like to get out of the CEO Institute, is learning how to actually build a better credit union and be able to lead my team more effectively or in a better way, absolutely. I'm always looking for ways to be better. And he said to me, by the way, that's not a reward, that's a reward disguised as work, or work disguised as a reward. So I thought it was funny on different perspectives people have.
Thank you.
And Desreen.
Jill, your project is very practical and actionable, and I commend you. I really did enjoy the blogs, the videos, and just the way you presented. Who are you targeting more, the Gen Ys or the Gen X, and why?
Yeah, we're actually targeting them all. So we started to build out a strategy that teaches the young people how to save. So we believe it's really important just to start getting people in their 20s and 30s to understand the impact of starting a PAC when they're younger versus starting to try to save aggressively when they're older for retirement. And that could mean the difference of $400,000, $500,000 in a retirement portfolio is just getting that discipline in saving. And then, of course, we're targeting the members that we have today. We, like many credit unions, have an older demographic, and they have their wealth at the CIBCs and the RBCs of the world. So we want to make sure that we can get in front of them and consolidate assets over to our credit union as well. So both.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question. Does anybody else have anything to ask? Dee Dee?
Yeah, Jill, in the beginning you pointed to your team. You said they did the work, and that's a sign of a leader, passing and acknowledging effort there. Could you, for me, describe one of your leadership talents? What would your team say about you?
Well, I think one of the things that they have said to me is I'm pretty good at creating an open environment. We've had to go through a lot of change to get where we are today. We changed people's roles, we changed people's focuses, we've changed things in our credit union, and I found it really important to me in my journey as a leader to make sure that I don't ever react to some of the emotions that might come from that, and that's something that my team has told me I'm good at, is being able to create the environment where they can, I guess they can express themselves and not fear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let's hear it for Jill.